Hey, yo, it's your boy Clue World, and I want to welcome you to Levels to this podcast. This is season 1, episode 6, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate you listening in, watching from where you are, because I know you could be doing anything else in the world, and the fact that you're here really means a lot to your boy. And let me tell y'all, I got a real special guest in the house today. When I tell you this is a real boss lady, for real, entrepreneurship on a high level. At the end of the day, I've seen her grow from where she was when I first met her, and that's neither here nor there, but it's funny to really just be able to see people grow and see them do things that you never even knew they were interested in or even capable of. But when you see people growing, it forces and inspires us to grow ourselves, those who are creators and stuff like that. So I want to introduce y'all to my friend, the amazing Jennifer Cagle. What's
Hi.
up?
Okay. I'm happy to be here. Thank you for inviting me on. I'm excited for you. Podcasts are so
Oh
fun.
man. Yes, and I'm thankful that we was finally able to catch up because it took a while, but
It took a
you know,
while, trial and
you're
error, but I'm
you're
here. I made it.
you're a busy lady. It's all good. I
Yes.
get it. And the reason why I brought Jennifer here is because when I tell y'all this lady is on a whole nother level for real, for real. And as I've watched her, I've just been really inspired by how she's grown and how she's actually taken pathways and even opened up doors and opportunities that I think a lot of people wouldn't even have thought of. So, Jen, I'm going to sit here and let you explain to us what it is you do and who you are.
So I am a Jane of all trades. I have a core brand that I started in 2000 and I want to say 16, 17 when I really started doing my research. I think in all businesses, all business endeavors, you have to dedicate some time to really research and requirement before you even get into business and start operating.
Right.
So I started birthing this business vision in 2016. And then I actually incorporated maybe about 2017. I bought my business to Cali. I'm originally from Cali, but when I started this business, I was living in Nevada at the time. So it was my first taste in entrepreneurship and outside of the 9 to 5 humdrum because I was
Right.
working in the private preschool sector when I was in Nevada. I was working as a web developer. So I took all of that um, experience and I used that focus and concentration in building a brand. I knew how to build a website. I knew basically how to use sales language when putting a website in front of customers or clients or consumers. And then I had
Yep.
the administrative skills from working in the private preschool sector, right? So
Right.
I used all of that experience to build my first baby, which was the V Spa. So that's my core brand. And basically, what we do, it's a feminine health and wellness brand. We do. It's very interesting. It's a niche in women's health. It's holistic. It's a holistic alternative for
Okay.
vaginal rejuvenation, and it's mostly popular and seen with doulas and midwives as the postpartum aftercare once a woman has given birth. So it's something that I learned and then I applied as self-care and realized I applied it as self-care to my life as a woman. Um, I was a teen mom. I experienced really difficult uh, birth situation with my first child, life threatening, might I add, right? I had a very rare
Wow.
condition that pre-exists in each of my pregnancies. I'm a mom of three. So
Wow.
um, I feel like some things you're just chosen for. So
Hmm.
because I was a teen mom, I was pregnant at 19, had my first daughter at 20, and I experienced such a life-threatening childbirth. And then I went on to experience, consequently other, menstrual health challenges and women's health challenges that
Hmm.
had to do with uterine health and
Mm.
um, made it really difficult for me to experience childbirth later on in my
Hmm.
later years in adulthood. And
Right.
so that made me very curious about anything concerning women's health, women's
Right.
period health, women's fertility, and women's health in general. That was something that I found interesting, and applied, like I said, applied to my personal life. So once I learned about this holistic alternative that all women should know about and practice in their daily self-care, especially modern American women, oh, I was all over it. I wanted to learn everything there was to know about herbalism for women's wellness, to learn about how vaginal steaming was practiced in different cultures.
Wow.
Yeah. So foregoing, my first year in business in California, we collaborated directly with a medical spa. I collaborated
Hmm.
directly with a medical spa. That's how I wanted to introduce my brand to California, to Los Angeles.
Hmm.
So I collaborated directly with a medical spa, meaning I occupied pretty much half of the med spa in Studio City with my
Mm.
own service, offering my own service in private rooms. I had a group room set up. It was awesome. It was amazing. And being a very unique niche, it allowed me to draw in um, media.
Hmm.
So I was in business maybe I had opened my doors February 2019. And by April, I was filming for E Network. And that was my first
Wow.
opportunity. Yeah, it was huge because it was really all about, I think my advantage and how I was able to leverage my brand so early is because placement. That's very, very
Yeah.
important where you
Yep.
put your business. It gives the brand respectability.
Hmm.
So because I was in Studio City, which I often tell people is like adjacent to Hollywood, it's like its own little Hollywood, and you're
Right.
surrounded by a lot of the TV networks and
No,
media
for sure.
companies. So when I did E Network, I was only open for 3 months.
Wow. That's
And
crazy.
and I happened to not even be at work one day. And they came in on one of my off days, and our receptionist, our front desk receptionist, myself and my leasing partner, um, they called me and they're like, Jennifer, you have E Network here. They want to meet with you. And I was like, and mind you, I'm in this like mind blowing med spa that has maybe $400,000 in build out and upgrades.
Yeah.
It's very elegant, very luxurious.
Hmm.
Paying, oh my God, we're paying. I'm gonna be very candid. We're paying over 9 grand a month to be in this space and occupy.
Wow.
So we were there, and when I got the call, I was like, did I do something wrong? Like, they
They
want
coming to get you.
what did I do? But mind you, there are women in this med spa that have been coming here for years. They're getting
Hmm.
Botox, derma fillers, all kind of stuff done like aesthetically, that they're paying money hand over foot. They're paying a lot of money, up in the thousands. And then
Hmm.
here comes this young Black woman with a holistic remedy for, women's health,
Hmm.
and it involves a woman sitting on a sauna, a wet steam sauna with the use of medicinal herbs. So they're like,
Wow.
what the is that? What
It's
is that?
different. That's
So I
different.
joined a lot of attention. Fast forward, I did E Network in my first year in business, really my first quarter in business, which is,
Wow.
I give myself a clap on
Right, right,
that.
right.
Um,
Right here. There we
and
go.
because it's very, it's essential in business as an entrepreneur to roll the dice on yourself and to bet
Correct.
on yourself and believe that your concept is going to work. It doesn't mean it's always going to work.
Absolutely.
So, fast forward, my first quarter, E Network came in. They paid me for the day to just film for a reality TV show. But E Network and NBC, CBS are all one big network. People don't
Right.
know that.
Correct.
So I was seen on E Network for a reality show, and also CBS and NBC covered it.
Dang. Okay.
So I was able to leverage that. We stayed in that space for the continuity of the year. I left Studio City, and I had to make a financial decision because I
Hmm.
had the clients. I didn't have to be there anymore.
Right.
I was able to build enough clientele that I could
Yep.
take them anywhere with me. I'm on one of the largest shopping and retail corridors in the Valley, which is Ventura Boulevard. So I
Hmm.
took my client base all the way down Ventura Boulevard, and I opened up my own double studio in Tarzana, like 2 minutes from my apartment.
That's what I'm talking about. Getting it
Um,
big for real.
my late fiance and I, we were living in Tarzana on the Village Walk. Think of that as living on the promenade.
Okay.
And they had retail on the opposite side, or really like they had retail right there in front of us.
Hmm.
So where there was already commercial retail, I went and rented my own private studios. Now my client base was just already there.
Right.
So I use my pre-existing client base, and I continue to build my brand and build my business with the so software.
Wait, what? What'd you say? Hold on. Don't worry about it. Don't stress either. We'll
You got
figure
it.
it out.
Should I pass
Okay,
up
so
my
you're good. I
equipment?
can see you now.
So the same spa software and phone system that I had learned to use working in the medical spa space,
Hmm.
I basically
Hold on. You good? Is it your internet? What's going is it me? I don't know. Cause I keep seeing you break up. But it's like I said, this is pre-recorded, so I can fix this. And I will. But okay, you good now?
I'm good. I'm here.
All right. Is your internet good or is it
My
finicky?
internet's good.
Okay. All good. So we gonna start back from here. You good?
I'm good
Check
on
your
my end. The
internet
match is good.
signal. Am
It's
I
good.
freezing
It's
on your
strong.
side or no? I'm freezing,
Not right now.
but I was. I don't know what's going on. It's not. Nah, go back. Go back. Go back.
You
So I
don't want
messed
me?
up. Okay. You good now?
Yeah, I'm on my phone.
Okay, yeah, you look great. So
Okay,
it's good. It's all good. I think
okay.
we can continue from here if you down with that.
Yes, that's fine.
Okay. All right, let me see. I might have to do something different. There we go. We're gonna do it like this. Okay. All right.
Can,
Hmm?
can you see me? You can see me,
Yeah,
right?
yep, and you can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Can I see you? Can you see you?
Yeah, it's
Okay,
little,
cool.
but oh, okay.
If you want, you can always turn your screen to the side if you want, and I think that can
Nah, I'm all right. It's okay. As
all
long as
right,
I don't
cool.
break, I'm okay. Okay, so
All
you
right,
want me to?
cool.
Okay, so
Yes,
fast
continue.
forward to
Hold on, let me
we
count you in. One, two, three, go.
so fast forward to about the end of the year. Um, I went ahead and I took my business and my client base that I had built and established in the medical spa. I took them now to my own storefront or my own double studio inside of a big like professional building, right?
Hmm.
So, and I was there for foregoing all of 2020 and then in 2021, if you notice, I often say we, myself and
Hmm.
my late fiance. Then we have two sons together. The we had just bought a home and closed on a property in the valley, and
Okay.
everything's going good. Everything is going great. We're expecting second baby. Business is steady throughout the pandemic. I survived the pandemic as a business owner because I was also able to scale my brand online by being with wholesale as an option to other spa professionals, as well
Wow.
being one of the U.S. distributors for my manufacturer. So I'm also not being my own established V spa, but I'm also helping other spas in the personal care space and other businesses in the personal care and spa space to get this equipment into the U.S.
Wow.
Right.
You big time it. Okay.
So, and what I was doing is they didn't have a U.S. distributor that they had any contract with. So, I hustled it. They didn't want to do a contract with anyone in the U.S., so I hustled
Hmm.
it. I was the liaison between the manufacturer and any new buyers that were coming to me because I'm a reputable brand. So I
Hmm.
have other professionals asking me, "Hey, where do you get your equipment? Where do you get those saunas? I've never seen an infrared sauna for vaginal steaming before."
Right.
So I'm a natural born hustler. I went ahead and figured out how to be that liaison and apply a markup on an already $2,800 spa unit.
Hmm.
Now I'm them for 3,800 to 35 to 3,800, and I'm
Damn.
applying that wholesale price in my wholesale catalog that I'm making available, readily available to those with an EIN applying for a wholesale application through my business online. So
Wow.
I survived the pandemic, being a U.S. distributor of spa equipment, and also being a. It's so funny because there were other spas, smaller spas than the V Spa. Their supply chain was cut off during COVID.
Okay.
So me being a hustler, now I'm thinking, okay, if your supply chain, people's supply chain was being cut off, then I went ahead and I added wholesale herbs to my catalog.
Hmm.
So now I'm also selling the herbs. I'm selling the herbs in bulk, so 16 ounces, 1 pound bags. But I also was able to package these herbs retail size Mylar bags. So
Okay.
if were to buy a 1 pound bag of herbs from me, but they're trying to resell them on a retail scale, meaning
Hmm.
they'll buy a pound, but you can break that pound into 32 mini Mylar bags. If you're selling them at 2 ounces each, that's
Hmm.
good for 2 sessions if you're going to, for your at home steamer. So I just basically learned, and using math, I learned my whole system.
Right. You
My
had to.
whether women were able to come into the spa and redeem services, or they needed to buy equipment, at home setups, or at
Right.
home and herbs to give themselves a service at home. It's a part of
Hmm.
care. So no bars hold. I made a way out of no way. So we survived 2020, and my year ended with the loss of my fiance. So we had um, toasted to new beginnings, our new home, new baby on the way, new business growth, right?
Hmm.
And he went out with friends and didn't make it back home. So I don't, if that doesn't make a person fight, I don't know
Right.
what, because I had to bring a new child in the world without ever being able to meet his own father or know his dad. And I had to
Wow.
explain a 3-year-old little boy that daddy's never coming home. And I had to maintain a business that he helped me not only sustain but get started.
Right.
So there's no giving up when you've poured 100,000, 200,000, $300,000 into a brand.
Right.
So when people often look at me like you're so strong, or you didn't break and you didn't crumble, or you still have all these working pieces going, it's like I did not have a choice. Who
Hmm.
walks away from an investment that you watched your loved one pour into?
Yeah.
You can't walk away from that. So my strategy, I'm very honest with my audience, and I'm very honest with you know mentees and people that look up to me for business advice.
Hmm.
VSPA is in stealth mode because I had to take a break from VSPA in order to build mini brands so I can sustain VSPA, but not only sustain, because here's a little bit of game. How the IRS looks at businesses, small businesses that are, you know, not see, that are a loss over profit for 5 years consecutively. The IRS now treats that business as a hobby. So I'm on my leg in business. I'm on my 3rd year in business now. So you have to know when it's time to go back to the drawing board. So for me, that was creating passive income that can sustain the VSPA no matter what pandemic or what state the economy is in. So I already have my wholesale division. I already have my U.S. distributor relationship with my manufacturing supply chain. But then it was really time to drill down and figure out what other value I can add in my industry as a leader. And for me, that is education. So
absolutely.
And I created this online course so I can certify new practitioners as professional pelvic steam therapists. But I didn't stop there. I went and got that same curriculum in my school. I went and had the curriculum copyrighted, and I applied for an accreditation. So I was fully accredited. So there's 2 accreditations I have right now: the National Commission of Acupuncture and Oriental Medicine, because they do respect, they lend a great amount of respect to holistic care, especially when it comes to the woman's womb. And then I have also an accreditation through the Association of Drugless Practitioners. It's AADP. So I have 2 accreditations for my school, and I was able to build passive income, another stream of passive income for the VSPA.
Wow.
I have students in Las Vegas. I have students in Memphis, Dallas, Tennessee. I'm touching a few states. It's not my academy is not as big as it will be. I'll claim that, but the school has been open since November last year, so just about a year.
Let me tell you, you done blow my mind, because I didn't know none of this. And the fact that you are like, your timeline of how everything just built out for you, it's so inspirational. And I'm number one, I want to give you your flowers. Like, everything you have right now and everything you're going to have, you deserved it. You've worked your ass off at everything. You feel me? Like,
I appreciate you.
You've always had that watch yourself with me energy since I first met you, but like, for you to carry it and also elevate it on a necessary level, because I even look at what you do. I love watching television. I love watching certain competitions, all that type of stuff. I love watching Shark Tank, and like, to see.
I didn't tell you, but I went on Shark Tank.
Really?
Yeah. So I moved back to California from Nevada in 2016. I had a interview maybe 2 months before I moved here. So I did a Shark Tank interview when they were in Vegas in 2016. I want to say February, March 2016. Did they choose me? No, because I didn't have my business plan together. And but guess what? It motivated me. It extremely motivated me to take my business concept and my business planning very seriously, because you can't talk to an investor and your business plan isn't right here.
For sure. They're gonna look at you crazy.
And then I ended up actually interviewing with a very big investor. Well, I wouldn't say interviewing, but I ended up pitching to a very big investor and broker the following year. And I walked away. They set a deal on the table, $500,000 to place me in 3 major cities and states, being Palo Alto, California, which you can treat that like a Silicon Valley, Beverly Hills.
Right.
Place me in Houston, Texas, as well as Manhattan, New York.
Big markets.
So we
Big,
did,
really big markets.
yeah, for sure. But I would have had to sell 30% equity of my business. So my fiance and I, we walked away from that. And that is what really, I want to say, motivated us to do it on our own.
Yeah, because you knew you had something. If they want to invest, it don't matter how much they want to take in equity, but it's just like just the fact that somebody wants something of what you have lets you further know I got something here.
I have something. And so, foregoing my first year in business, it was really like, it was so rewarding to see that you walked away from, potential investors that wanted to pour money into a company, but they
Mm-hmm.
wanted such a large stake, which would have essentially left me working for someone else. And this was my
Correct.
brainchild. But
Mm-hmm.
yes, opportunities where I've sat in front of, a full Shark Tank interview panel. First of all, to even get an interview with Shark Tank,
It's a lot.
it's a lot. So I think, and my fiance and I, we had just started dating at that time. He was like, "You going on Shark Tank?"
Right.
I was, yeah, for my vaginal steam business. He was like,
Wow.
then he started paying attention. He was like, "Yeah,
Yeah,
she
you woke them up for sure.
costs."
Nah, hey, you know what it is? And that's great. That's the type of relationships that we yearn for today, is to have a counterpart that inspires you, that literally makes you have to take a second look and be like, wait a minute, damn, I thought you was just doing this, but now that I know you really out here doing this, like, let me. Now,
Listen,
mind you, we should always support from the jump, but it also it's also good to get a helpful love tap in the back of the head and be like, I know you wasn't paying attention, but check this out.
what? Okay, listen, I had the kitchen counters full of herbs. He was like, "Babe, you shipping more weight than a drug dealer."
It sounded like that when you was telling me what you was sending. I was like, you was breaking it down. I was like, this sound like drugs.
I was like, "I need a scale because they get exactly what they paid for. I need a scale. Babe, come show me how to weigh this out." He was looking like, "This shit funny as heck." He was showing his friends. He was like, "Do y'all see what this woman is doing? Whole kitchen's full of herbs."
Wow,
What? You
that's
shipping?
fire.
I was like, "Gotta
Wait,
get big. We under a state mandate. I can't open my doors right now." So I'm pushing
right.
herbs. Talk about a real hustler. A real hustler makes a way out of no way. I pushed herbs for some brands that, have scaled to, millions of dollars selling their products online. And that's great. But the herbs, I was formulating their herbs for them when their supply chains were broken during COVID because their supply chain is China.
Correct. And they
So
wasn't messing with us.
really understanding the inner workings of commerce, not e-commerce, but understanding the inner workings of the economy and how things are
Hmm.
exported, the taxes that you have to add on. It helps you know how to price things. It helps
Yeah.
you to understand the timeline, your production timelines, understanding the cycle of like the fiscus cycle and quarterly. It helps you to prepare per quarter for holidays, for sales, events, Black Friday, like understanding which quarters or which seasons that you should meet a certain quota, setting those goals for yourself. Like I
Right.
have goals November, December for my mini brands. And again, back to that. So I survived, all the changes in my personal life and losing my spouse
Hmm.
and bearing a child. I had my baby and went back to work the following week.
Wow.
But my fiance died New Year's Day, January 2021, and um, February February 4th, I got a phone call from Red Table Talk. They wanted to
Mm.
cover, not necessarily cover a story on me, but they
Hmm.
wanted me. They wanted to feature a wellness segment with the V Spa, and I turned it
Hmm.
away because the timing wasn't right for me.
Right.
And just so happens they gave that position that they offered me first, they gave that space to another leader in the wellness
Community. Yeah.
named Queen Afua. Queen Afua was one of my first mentors. So Queen Afua basically that taping they did with Queen Afua, Red Table Talk, she doesn't have a V spa, she doesn't have a yoni spa, but she
Wow.
so it like a ripple effect, it bought me more clients. So my first quarter after losing my spouse, I was back in business, baby, because the state mandate was lifted in February.
Mm, that's right. That's
So
right.
February, March, April, I drop a baby, I'm back at work.
Super mom.
And yeah, I just don't make excuses. I can't because they don't pay my bills. So
Say that again. What?
I don't make excuses because I take them to the bank.
Hey, you know what I'm saying? Them joints be bouncing. Yo, you've always been a not just a clever mind. You've always been a very um before your time minded person for me. Like I feel like as long as I've known you, um, even when we were younger and I knew you, like I felt like even in our conversations, there was a lot of stuff I always had to reflect back and just be like, man, like she's not just talking based off of confidence. She's talking based upon a lot of knowledge that she carries. And to see that knowledge blossom into these endeavors and these opportunities that you have today, like literally just knowing that the reason why on Red Tables Talks there was a moment that existed in this world's history based upon what you weren't able to do at that time, but you were the one that was first called. That's big. That means a lot. Like a lot of people don't even understand what it is to be called first and have to decline something and nobody even know the backstory of it. But to know the backstory of that now, if I were to watch it today, I'd be like, wow, she really that should have been that not even should have been, could have been her. It's not that they took it from you. You
I feel like,
declined it in that.
and and all the doors that God has for you, I feel like no one can close it. So
Correct.
that's not the only opportunity I've turned away. I've turned away, I want to say 2 months after I did E-Network, I was being contacted by Ellen DeGeneres. It just kept coming. I didn't do
Wow.
Ellen Tube, and those are like the two opportunities that I'm like, damn, where would I be if I did Ellen TV? If I did Ellen, so Ellen has her TV show, and then she has a
Hmm.
youth, and she wanted to do a wellness segment, something similar to Jada,
Hmm.
um, on women's health and wellness, and to be even considered, to know that my name is in rooms that I have yet to enter,
That part.
like
That's big.
that's big. That like very much so boosts my confidence as a business owner. So
Hmm.
today, basically, I have these many brands that I've invested in.
Hmm.
Um, you know, I feel like I'm a mom of three. So if I'm a mom of three, I already know how to juggle, you
Right.
know, um,
Multitask. Yeah.
multitask. But my heart, I'm feel like as a business owner, my I'm a very heart centered business owner.
Hmm.
Uh, I do everything with passion, and I'm very, very close to God. So I
Hmm.
ask, like, stretch me and please expand my territory. Like, I want my own storefront, and I've been working on my franchising process, and it's a very
Mm.
lengthy process. Um, you have to go through all of these filings, franchise disclosure documents. I won't even get into that, but I started the franchise process before my fiance passed.
Wow.
Start putting money at that, and I'm more so like at the tail end of it. But one of the required things is before you sell a franchise, you have to have an established flagship store in your originating state. So California be the state that my business originated in.
Hmm.
um, my goal in mind right now is to establish a storefront that all of my franchisees are basically going to duplicate.
Got you. Absolutely. Absolutely.
So, in order to raise the money for that, that's where going back to the drawing board again came in at. And I said, okay, I need to establish more passive streams of income. This is something I've taught myself how to do. I've hustled everything from t-shirts, fine ass mom, hats. I know how it feels to wake up to money deposited in your sleep, and I love
Right.
it. I know how it feels to wake up to $1,250 for a school enrollment and in a whole nother state, someone you never met, and I love it. So
Wow.
right now it's a rinse and repeat process. So I took it a step further and I created the Boss Babe Cafe, because when I petitioned to God that I needed my territory to be expanded, that I needed exalted to a different level as a entrepreneur and a leader, because I don't feel like I'm just blessed because I have a successful business. I know that I'm blessed because my business is catering to women's health and wellness. I know that is something that God would support. So I feel like what God said back was, if you want me to expand you and help you, I need you to help others. So that's why I created the Boss Babe Cafe, and it's an online digital marketplace for entrepreneurs. So I'm helping other women specifically build successful e-commerce brands and learn how to scale. So everything they need, from their vendors list to their website design, to oh my God, you can buy pretty much anything. You can
Wow.
get your SEO and marketing strategy from there. It's like almost my own Fiverr hub, but top vetted graphic designers, web designers, vendors list, manufacturers, and all my resources and tools that I've used to successfully build my first brand.
Wow.
Pretty reputable. So Boss Babe Cafe is up, it's in action. I'm dropping new vendors list every week. You can build a brand from scratch. And I took it a step further and I built a new brand using Boss Babe Cafe resources
Oh, wow.
so that I can be an exemplary model of how my tools
Absolutely.
helped me to put because the V Spa is a brick and mortar concept.
Correct.
I do have wholesale and other lanes or other streams of income from that brand, but I wanted to show my audience how I can spit out an e-commerce brand and scale it running Facebook ads and having the right branding and having the right marketing strategy in place, how you can pretty much be your own PR and gain access to media and publications.
Right. Right. Absolutely.
That's how the Boss Babe Cafe and the Brow Snob was birthed, all within the last 3-6 months.
Yeah.
And that's my idea of building passive streams of income so that I can support my core brand and business.
Correct.
Requires more capital, more working capital, more seed money to get to the next step, because in every business you have to have an exit strategy. So my exit for the V Spa is to franchise on a national scale, and I know that I can do it because I'm halfway there.
Yeah.
I've built a national brand off my back, literally. I have students in other states.
Wow. Pretty much. Yeah, you're doing it.
To operating this type of business. So that makes it a franchisable business if it can, it's rinse and repeat. So that's my exit strategy. I want to kick up my feet by the time I'm, say, 35, 40.
That's
35,
close.
traveling. That is really cool. At 35, 40, I should be traveling the world and knowing that I have, franchisees. I have franchise money coming in. The other mini brands, the Boss Babe Cafe, that's a digital. It's a fully automated website. It can run on its own. I can employ graphic designers. That's easy. It's a matter of shifting jobs to whomever has room in their queue or have their commissions open. Everything else, it's just automated. I built it that way for a reason. The Brow Snob, that's a cosmetic company, but it's all e-commerce. Right. So it's just a matter of, as sales come in, you're delivering shippables.
I mean, to still put this all in the understanding that you do this while being a mother of 3 children, and it's not like you got some grown ass kids. You got babies. You know what I'm saying? Babies that need your attention. And the fact that you're able to still keep your mind and keep your foot on the gas with these endeavors and these amazing, necessary, needed um creations is amazing to me, because like when I heard the V spot for the first time, I was like, V
What
spot, what is that?
most people.
But I was so excited to see certain things, like to see April Jones post about it and all that type of stuff. I'm like, oh, she doing big things. You got Miss Christie over there and all that type of stuff. Like this is some big stuff. You know what I'm saying? And you got some people who will take that little bit and just leave it there and be like, try to put things on autopilot. But you're just like, nah, I'm on to the next bigger idea, because this is my baby, but I want no baby stays a baby forever. You
Hmm.
know, and um the development of that child is based upon how much attention and energy you put into it. And so the development of what you've created, I can't wait to see where it goes, because you've always been so driven. Like there's nothing that can stop you. You've always been like, you've been what I appreciate and respect about an alpha female. It's not necessarily that you can't coexist with the alpha male. It's just like, hey, at the end of the day, I'm gonna be alpha in my space, you be alpha in your space, but we gonna build together. I'm not here to try to. I'm not here to compete. I'm here to complete. And that's something that I literally talked to somebody earlier today about the unfortunate. And this has nothing to do with this interview. This is sidebar, but it's unfortunate how men can't support women who are alphas and who are really going hard in the paint and really doing not just the how not the nurturing work, but the build, like the real aggressive stuff, the stuff that's not easy to do, the stuff that you have people out here giving up every day doing. But the fact that you have continued to push on, like I will tell you, the reason why I can sit here and be so quiet is I have been so educated, and not even just educated on the level of V spas and all that type of stuff. The gems you dropped about the EINs and the LLC and all that stuff, and really the 5-year gem that you dropped. You know what I'm saying about business. I'm a
Can't,
business owner, but I didn't know that.
because people always try to, play the game with the IRS and get a refund on your business, or shave down their tax liability to nearly zero. But if you continue to file your business, that you have your profit and loss statement. If you continue to file your business consecutively for 5 years as a loss, the IRS is going to treat it as a hobby.
Hmm.
They're basically saying, we're not going to pay you for operating your business anymore.
Right. Now you looking dumb. And you trying to now you're trying to balance out something that should have just been going in one direction. Now you're trying to like literally trying to figure out how do you pick up the finesse, because you've broken it. And it's like
It's
it's not necessarily a finesse.
you have to. It's very important to build a sustainable company,
Correct.
or
Which you have done.
capital. You won't have access to LLCs, lines of credit. It's kind of basically backwards.
Yeah, for sure. And what I also applaud you on is the fact that you said, you know what, I'm not just gonna build just any type of business. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna build a business and show you how it works for me too, how I can use it. Because you got a lot of people who do tutorials like, oh, this is how it works, this is how it works. No, not that it just works. I'll show you how it works for me to add on to what I'm already doing. Like I don't even have to do this. I'm literally building this to give it to you, but I'm gonna show you that I can still do more than you not using this. But I hope that you decide to make the decision to use this. But
Mhm.
you tackled so many of my questions, because you're a boss like that. I'm not even to say that I don't have questions, but it's like some people I ask questions to, like, did you ever want to give up? You literally have explained to us something that, listening back to your story, yes, it's incredible to be like, that didn't stop you, like losing a spouse while you guys are cheersing to the next elevation in life, and not only just losing a spouse, but bringing in another
Another life.
creation and that, and maintaining though. Because I tell people a lot of the time, like, it's not necessarily the level of desperation it takes to get to something. It's actually building something and maintaining it that's the hardest thing to do.
Mm,
And
mm,
that's how it is for me in legacy. I people, you know, I talk about my kids in general. Is like, I want my kids, yes, I want them to have everything, and I want them to work hard for everything. I want them to be able to learn how to work hard. But I also want to leave them something that they have to maintain. Why? Because out of desperation, depending on how bad you want it, you'll do anything for it. And that's when we do the regrettable things. But to have to maintain something,
mm-hmm.
that takes a whole nother level of maturity,
Focus.
self-respect, and focus. Absolutely. Because you can't maintain just any type of way. Because if you maintain out of desperation, you end up pinching off pieces of your legacy to give to other people. You
Mm,
end up diluting the purity of what has been already created.
mm.
And
Yeah.
so I just want to give them something to maintain. I'm praying for your kids in the future, because for them to maintain the legacy that you're building and you're not even finished right now, whew, they got some huge hills to fill, for real. You know what I'm saying?
That
And
my kids have no idea. They're like, Mom, you're always on the computer. They'll see my daughter, she's older, so I have a little preteen. She's understanding. She
mm,
knows what her name means. My daughter's name means um, the achiever and the attainer.
mm,
So she understands the meaning of your name is your virtue. She
yeah,
understands is an inheritor. She understands what I'm building is for women across the globe, and it's going to take big shoes to fill that role and of leadership. She
yeah,
understands without watering down the significance of what I do. I'm a fun mom. I can be a fine ass mom, but I'm really a female founder. I'm an entrepreneur. I am a leader. She knows, like, under her mother's thumb, she knows I'm no games, and I'm building a legacy for her to carry. So my daughter, she knows, like, the importance of the carrying the torch. Now for my boys, obviously they're younger. I have a 5 and a 1 year old. They have no idea what's going on, but I'm publishing a children's book for them
wow,
for the end of this year, first quarter of 23, and it's dedicated to all children who are coping with the loss of a parent.
that's beautiful.
And talk about breaking chains. Myself and my fiance, we had a trauma bond because he grew up and he never met his father, same as
Mm,
our 1 year old. And he grew up, he never met his father because his father was murdered. My mother was murdered as well when I was 3 years old, the same age as our now 5 year old.
mm,
So we have two children that experience the residual effect of of the residual and cyclical effect of trauma.
yeah.
Trauma bonds are very, very real, but that's a whole nother podcast, a whole nother conversation. But I will
We
say,
come on that one. We gonna come back for that one for sure, because I need you back. So just know, but keep going. I'm listening.
but I will say this: it's like a lot of people, they go into things seeing a finish line.
Yeah,
I don't see a finish line. Every day it's just the marathon continues, you know.
every day.
But also, my deeper understanding to life after losing my mother at 4, after losing the man I was going to marry, um, everything is temporary. People
Yeah,
don't belong. Time doesn't belong to you. People don't belong to you.
that
Everything
part.
is temporary. So that is what wakes me up and pushes me to my feet every day to
Hmm.
get one more thing off my task list done.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And I think if people shift their perspective and think that they are so godly and mighty and so favored that they have time and things
Mm,
can, and the important things in life can wait, it's like telling God he owes you more time on this earth, and nobody owes you time. You know,
yo, you you ain't
you
gotta kick people in the head with that one, but you on it for sure.
shift perspective and you understand that God doesn't owe you anything. God doesn't
Absolutely.
owe you more time to procrastinate. God doesn't owe you people,
Yeah,
owe you explanations, because the storm will come and take what it wants with it, right? You're not
absolutely.
explanations. You can spend your whole life trying to figure out why, but for me, I'm going to keep going. And one of my favorite like sayings is, I'm not a damsel in distress, I'm a damsel in excess. So
Okay, hit
you
me
will
in the chest.
no one will ever find me with my hand out.
Nah,
You
never.
They're going to sit on your hands and be a slouch, or you're going to take what you got and let God meet you halfway. But God is not going to favor the pitiful, I
Nah,
think.
he's not gonna do all the work. He's not gonna do all the work. He don't
And
have
I
to.
believe God will meet you halfway empty-handed. And I know because it happened for me. But if you don't have a,
Wow.
God doesn't even know what he's investing in. I
Correct.
know one plants seeds on infertile soil.
Yeah.
So
Look here. First of all, when you start teaching at a church, I'm gonna need to come check you out for your first one. Cause I mean, what's funny is that's how we connected. We connected at church, which is cool. But to see his growth in you and your acknowledgement of what he's been teaching you is amazing. It's incredible because it's like I'm blown away. I mean,
I came a long way. And I do not hold my tongue. So in business,
that part I do.
like, and I think that that gives me my way in business when it comes
Mm.
to negotiating. I know how to negotiate because I'm just no holds bars. If I feel like I can undercut a certain price, if I feel like I'm being cheated, I'm gonna trim through the fat and
Yeah, you
get to,
definitely cutthroat.
yeah.
You've always been cutthroat. But what's funny is you touched on something that's really dope in the fact that us understanding our time here with God and how important it is. I tell people all the time, especially living in this day age, in the unfortunate pace of losing people right now. Like we're losing people every day at such a fast pace. It's normal. It's sadly normal. And one thing that I tell people is like we have to understand we're on borrowed time, even
Ooh,
with our elders, even with loved ones. We're on borrowed time. And it's not borrowed time like we're borrowing it. No, we're borrowing each other because we belong to him. All of us belong to him. We all got to go back with him. So what the time that we're borrowed upon with one another, we have to leave a mark. Like our success is based on how many trademarks we can leave on people's lives in an effective way, not negatively, positively.
I
And
like,
just to be able to understand like we all have to be with him. We're all his. Like we don't belong to no, I he's the only creator. He created you to be here in this moment for me to be allowed the access to understand what I'm getting right now and you inspiring me through this conversation. And trust me, I don't take it as a grain of salt. I take it as like, oh my gosh, I get a chance to experience a greater creation that I never knew was going to expand into this. And it's the same thing with life, because I even say this for the elders. One thing that I had to learn when I lost my grandmother in 2020, um,
oh, that was
how
great.
yeah, how our elders do overtime for us because we're not ready for them to leave.
Mm,
And it's sad. Like
that,
you wonder why they get so weak. It's not necessarily just because they're sick, because they're doing overtime. They're doing overtime so that their children can be ready, their grandchildren can be ready. And we're never really going to ever be ready. But if you also understand that God, me being here is borrowed for somebody else, and those who get a chance to experience, it's borrowed from me. And so you gain that better understanding of being intentional, which is something that you're very big on, which you haven't said, but you're very intentional. It's not even necessarily that you're cutthroat. You
mm-hmm.
just know that time time doesn't belong to us. We just get a chance to ride it. We get a
Yeah.
chance to be in it.
Differentiates people that are intentional or not is really understanding, having a more depth understanding of how life works, and that you
Yep.
won't ever. That's what makes a person more mindful, more intentional, and more purposeful every single day in everyone's life, how they interact with others. And I think once a person's perception is shifted to be more intentional, you lead a more beautiful life. You have a more
Yeah,
bright presence. You leave your, in your words, trademark on people's lives, and you walk into the room with a different anointing over you.
correct.
When you understand that all of this is temporary. This is like a simulation of God's true, perfect, and divine creation in
Yep.
another, because this ain't it, baby.
This ain't it.
This,
This ain't it. This is
this
really work, period. Like from beginning to end, it's work.
I think
And
it's your karmic retribution on this and this plane and this material plane in this realm.
yeah.
But I believe that true life is in the eternal. It's in God's divine and perfect creation,
Oh
a
yeah.
much brighter, better world, free of evil, free of money.
Yes.
You know, this is,
Yeah.
oh, this is a simulation. This is a
It's
Sims
a
game.
it's a it's a Sims game, or you can look at it as the elongated recess. But what can you do with it? What will you do with it? Will you go and just play on this play structure the whole time? Will you go kick in the sand, or will you go sit down somewhere and try to build something? Will you do something with the time that you have where you're not held as accountable on what you do with it, but you are given the choice to do something well with it? Because that's the other thing. A lot of stuff went on during the pandemic. A lot of loans were given. A lot of free money was given. All of these things were going. A lot of people was just grabbing at this free stuff. But if you weren't able to say, you know what, as
Mhm.
much free thing as much of this free stuff is being given out, number one, will I take it, or will I work my behind off to earn it,
Mhm.
or will I earn it, have be able to be qualified to get it, and make something 10 times over what I got when I got it. You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
to know that you were really like hustling. Everybody wasn't hustling during the pandemic because nobody knew when it was going to end. But the real hustlers, they said it don't matter when it ends. It, my hustle never ended. My hustle just got harder. That's it.
Mhm.
And now I'm sitting in front of one of the craziest boss ladies in the world. And what I love about your boss babes
Boss.
cafe.
Mhm.
What I love about it is when you go to that, y'all can check this out on Instagram. It's not just her, it's women, it's
Mhm.
boss women. So you are what you're around. And the fact that you got a circle of boss women, it's like you got a very large, not even, no, it's not, I don't even mean large. I mean large in regards to the accountability portion. You have a large amount of accountability with that small amount of women, because they're not gonna let you fall. They're gonna be like, girl, pick yourself up off the ground. We got stuff to do. We got places to be. And
Mhm.
it's, because I was even gonna ask you, how important do you feel relationship is throughout your course and all that type of stuff. But um your story is a bit different, because really you've been in the biggest portion of it, you've been a one woman machine to a certain degree. There's certain things that you probably got help on and stuff like that, but damn, you've always been, you've been that one for real. And I mean, I really treasure just hearing and gaining all the knowledge from you, because honestly, I want to say we haven't talked face to face or even over the phone in almost close to a decade.
Couple of years. Yeah.
Yeah.
Few
But
years.
what I'm thankful for is you're in such a place so far off, hearing this conversation, catching up and being able to gain this understanding. And for those who are listening in, you just dropped so many gems. I swear on everything, we're gonna have to come back
Mhm.
and
Do a
talk a
part.
little bit more, because you dropped a lot on me today. I wasn't ready for this, but
I
I
know.
hope that everybody enjoyed it, because you unpacked a lot. And not another reason why I have levels to this is understanding how life is interpreted, how we see it, and how we have to understand how God is the complete controlee of it, and how much effort it takes from us just not being here that he needs. he doesn't just need you to be here. He needs you to get up and meet him at his office. Some people can't even do that. Some people just feel like, God, well, I got up. Yeah, but did you at least try to brush your teeth and brush your hair and put something on and come to me? Because I can be ever present everywhere, but I don't know if me giving you this, because I have to come to you, you're going to be responsible with it. Because many of us don't just live entitled life, just living life. We live entitled with God. And that's the baddest part, because a word that you said that I was talking about recently this past Sunday is inheritance, and understanding his inheritance, meaning we can't lose ever in life. We can only learn if you really understand, because we inherited his winnings for the rest of our life. He'll never lose. That's inherited. When we literally said, God, I surrender to you, we inherited it, winning for the rest of our lives. So anything that we come against, whether we not the result be successful, it doesn't mean that we lost. We just learned how to, when the next time we come in connection with it, what to do better, what to look at, what to analyze, how to slow down and pay attention to other things. But you cracked open a whole can of worms today, for real. I wasn't expecting this, but I'm glad that I waited for you. I'm glad that we went through all the technical difficulties.
Good things take time.
And you know what? That's you, dog. That's you, for real. But I will ask you this before I leave. What would you say to somebody who's trying to get, like a younger woman or a younger man, anybody trying to get in entrepreneurship? What is something that you would give to them in just a face-to-face, like on how to get on the level that you're on? Because you've definitely explained that, but what would be that one thing that you would give to them that you would hope would reach them at their deepest points?
Authenticity is key. My favorite Angelou quote is, success is liking yourself, liking what you do, and liking how you do it.
Wow. Wow. Okay. You gave straight left hooks, uppercuts, and everything. You no jabs at all. And I appreciate that, because sometimes less is more. Number one, it don't got the revealing of how we get to where we are is not complicated. It's honestly being consistent, being paying attention to the little things, so that the bigger thing, so that once you pass those elements, you don't have run into bigger obstacles. If you do things half-ass, expect full-ass repercussions.
No, for sure. I mean, being authentic, it separates you from the rest. It makes you out. No one is you. That's what makes you unique and differentiates you from the crowd. I feel like I could have started any business, but I started the most quirky, strange, like, what is that? Cliche. Not cliche. I'm sorry. The most unique business to have. And I just really opened up a lane for a lot of women, and a lot of Black women, namely in the holistic wellness space, where we didn't have representation. So same with Boss Babe Cafe. There are digital marketplaces like Fiverr, and I basically put Black girls on a map where we don't exist. And your unique, understanding that your unique culture ad is necessary in every single field, every room you walk in. It's okay. We're no longer accepting having a seat as a token Black man or token Black girl. Like, no, we're coming in and we are creating. We have Brandon Blackwood. We have Telfar bags. We are creating. We are no longer letting other races monopolize on the things that we consume mostly. So when I say authentic to yourself, be that Black man with his own tech, company, or be the one Black girl with her own cosmetic company or brand. There's so much room for us in so many spaces and so many sectors of different industries. Don't be afraid to create and be authentic. When you are doing it as yourself and you're showing up as yourself, you don't have any competition. If you look
Absolutely.
at the most viral and biggest social media accounts, whether it be TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, people are the most famous for the silliest things that
Yeah.
being. So
Absolutely. And don't be quick to sell out. That's the other part. That's a big part of our culture.
don't be quick
Is
to sell
don't be
out.
quick
Don't
to sell out.
rush to market with something that is just a form of duplication. Mass production is the worst. But don't be so quick to rush to market with something that doesn't have your unique stamp on, your identity, your blueprint, you know.
Yeah.
But there's,
Absolutely.
as a minority, Black and brown girls, there's room for us on the shelves. There's room for us in e-commerce, in various business industries. So just make sure when you get in there, you're who you say you are authentic to yourself, and you're putting out quality.
No, absolutely. I tell people all the time, like even when you say, getting their stuff on the shelves, I always take it further. Like, let them be your shelves. We don't have to always go to CVS. Let's be the building next to CVS. That's way bigger than CVS, and it's on them shelves. But CVS gets a chance to, just in case we sell out, you can go across, you can go over there, and we gonna
Yep.
still get a penny or diamond off of it anyways. You know what I'm saying? Because it's franchising. I feel like is not brought up in our community enough. Why? Because everybody is so everybody's so like, I just gotta get started and all that type of stuff. And then on top of that, once they find what works for them, they get comfortable.
Yeah.
And one of the biggest things I've learned is God has done his most greatest works in my life when I was uncomfortable. Anything I was comfortable in, I wasn't unreachable because I was comfortable. It's like, God, nah, what you mean? This is good. But no, when it's uncomfortable, it's life's weight training is what I call it.
Fans.
And in life's weight training, we understand, like anybody who's dealt with a trainer and all that type of stuff, you keep coming back to the gym every day, and the trainer, is seeing that things is getting comfortable for you. They're gonna add weight onto it. They're gonna add weight onto it, not based upon trying to hurt you, but the accomplishment of what you've shown them you're able and capable of doing. And that's like an amazing thing. I feel that a lot of people should always understand and acknowledge, like the things that are being put and given to us throughout life are not to hurt us. They're not being done in regards to us feeling like, like I ain't strong enough to do this. Like, nah, we're proving to God every day, somehow, some way, that the weight that he adds to us, we're capable of holding, we're capable of pushing up on and getting more strength. So I say all that to say thank y'all for listening in with me and Boss Mom Jen. I greatly appreciate her being here and just giving us so much insight. I can't wait to have her on again. And I hope that you guys enjoyed her just as much as I did. And this is Levels to This podcast. And if nobody told you they loved you today, I'm going to tell you I love you genuinely. And I'm thankful that you woke up today. I'm thankful that you desired to push again. So I greatly appreciate you. Jen, thank you. And this is Levels to This podcast with your boy KLUEWORLD. See you soon. Peace out.